I've been looking,
searching, trying to find the right way to walk. Stay beside me, guide me, and try me. I want to walk in your light.
I've been looking,
searching, trying to find the right way to walk.
The Lord is my light, my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. And whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemy, my faith trust I put all in thee. Believe you got the world in your hand. You bless me, Lord, I know I can stand.
Show me the way, Lord.
I will be faithful, for I am desolate and afflicted. Lord, show me the way.
Then I want to say to the people that are watching us live on the internet, good afternoon. And as always, it is good to stand before you on the Lord's Sabbath day. You know, sisters and brothers, there's a time, you know, when the Lord said his prayer, he spoke of a time to come that he would deliver his servants from. And from this prayer, the Lord calls me to put this together. This lesson is called the hour of temptation. The hour of temptation. People think that is when the Lord is tempting you. Well, we're going to show you the Lord don't tempt anybody, sisters and brothers. This is a period of time that is going to come on the world. See, because the world is steady getting worse and worse and worse, and the Lord's going to bring something up on this planet that's going to get everybody's attention. It is one name for it is the Great Tribulation, but another name for it is the hour of temptation. The Lord going to make this happen, sisters and brothers. Now we're going to start looking at this. Let's start this at Matthew, the 6th chapter, because we need to know about this, because this thing is really going down. It's happening right before our eyes, and the world is going to be surprised. But this is just another point to let you know that the Lord's Prayer is prophecy. Like you hear, I've heard several ministers say, well, you know, the Lord's Prayer don't do nothing for me. News flash, the whole Bible don't do nothing for them. But the Lord taught us how to pray. In other scriptures, the apostles asked him, how should we pray? And he taught us how to pray. And this prayer that he taught us is prophecy. Now we're going to start it at verse 9. 6 and verse 9. Okay, go ahead.
After this manner, therefore, pray ye. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Now, this is what you're praying to, the Father. You don't pray to Jesus. You're praying to the Father in Jesus' name. Go ahead and read.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come. See, all that's prophecy. Go ahead.
Thy will be done in earth.
And that's prophecy. It's going to be done in earth. Go ahead and read.
As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
And that's sufficient. As long as he give us today what we need, then we are in good shape, because when tomorrow get here, that would be this day. This God here is Jesus letting you know you are putting things on the table that really, really gonna do you good. Go ahead and read.
And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors.
Go ahead.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil. Go ahead.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Now he said, deliver us. You know, each day from this temptation. And this is not talking about somebody being tempted by God. Now let me show you what I mean here. Let's go into James, the 1st chapter. Because he wants you to understand that this temptation that he's going in, hey, we don't want to be led into this temptation because you just might not come out of it. And if you do come out of it, find yourself breathing on the other side of it, you may have taken the mark of the beast to get past it. Then you're in worse shape. I'd rather get killed than to go there. James chapter 1, because we show you this, sisters and brothers, because some people think, well, you know, Brother Boy, he's saying deliver us from our daily temptation. No, God, you know, if you do what God say, his word will deliver you from that temptation. Yep. This is what people don't understand. When it comes to personal temptation, all you got to do is read this book. If you read this book and accept it for what it is, you will be delivered from your personal temptation. Yes, sir. But this is not talking about that. This is a period in time. James, the first chapter, start reading at verse 13. 1 and 13. Go ahead.
Let no man say when he is tempted,
go ahead,
I'm tempted of God.
Go ahead.
For God cannot be tempted with evil. Neither tempted he any man.
Now this is what the book says, ain't it? So when somewhere, you know, the Lord tempted me. The Lord don't tempt nobody. He don't do nothing with evil. And he said right now, neither tempted he any man. That covers everybody. So how is it that you figure God is going to tempt you? The book just told you don't do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
Now that's what tempts you. When you're drawn away with your own lust, that is what entices you. Something that you don't want, you don't lust after, that don't tempt you. But when you see something that you want, then you get to thinking the wrong way. Yeah. You're tempted. That ain't got nothing to do with God, sisters and brothers. That's man. You're drawn away with your own lust and enticed. Go ahead.
Then, when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin.
Now think about this. When lust hath conceived, it bring about sin. Go ahead and read.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. God don't do this. He is about life, sisters and brothers. His whole word is about life. So if this temptation that he was telling you about in the Lord's Prayer, then you can be tempted. And then you get tempted too much, then that's going to bring about sin. And then sin is going to bring about death. You think God going to lay a trap to kill you? No. That trap was laid by you and nobody else, sisters and brothers. Let's go into Proverbs, the 5th chapter. Proverbs chapter 5. Just letting you know that God is not so small that he's going to be tempting you. Every now and then he'll try you, see if you're going to really do what he said. But then that ain't nothing evil. Sometimes he try the strength of your faith, like he did with Abraham concerning Isaac. But to outright tempt you with evil, he ain't going there. Proverbs 5, and we're going to start reading at verse 21. Proverbs 5 and verse 21. Okay, go ahead.
For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings.
And he's watching you all the time. Go ahead and read.
His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself.
Whose iniquity going to take the wicked?
His own.
His own. Go ahead and read.
And he shall be holden with the cause of his sins.
And he going to be held with the cause of his own sins, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
He shall die without instruction. And in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray.
Now he's going to die without instruction. Because if you was instructed by the word of God, you wouldn't die.
Yeah.
But in your own foolishness, you're going to go astray. That is what takes us. That's the temptation that we have to watch out for, sisters and brothers. Not the one that Jesus is talking about. Now let's go and look at this temptation that Jesus is talking about. Let's go into Revelation, the 3rd chapter. Because I've had people, see, your brother boy, you know, that's talking about you being tempted. God's tempting you. God ain't got to tempt you. He gave you his word. You're going to tempt you if you read some of his word that you don't want to do. Or if you see, if you get to looking at some of the things that he said, thou shalt not, but you want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's on you. Like I hear people all the time, well, the enemy was trying to persuade me. What enemy is that you're talking about? He's Satan. Did you see him? Well, you know, I didn't see him, but we'll go and look in the mirror. I'm going to show you the enemy so you can see. You. We are responsible, sisters and brothers. But this temptation here is another thing altogether. We're going to start to read at verse 7. Revelation 3 and verse 7. This is when the Lord is addressing the churches. Go ahead and read.
And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, these things said he that is holy, he that is true, he that has the key of David.
Go ahead.
He that openeth and no man shutteth.
Now this is the Lord. This is the one. Go ahead and read.
And shutteth and no man openeth. I know thy works.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name.
Now I know that this is talking to us in this generation. I know this, sisters and brothers. He said, you know our work. And he said, but I don't open the door and can't nobody shut it. I mean, the knowledge is out here. All you have to do is go get it.
Yes.
There was a day when you couldn't study, you couldn't do nothing because you was oppressed. But he said, now the door is open. I've even removed a lot of falsehood and made it so bad until you said, it's got to be something better than this. So you're looking. He said, the door is open. He said, I know you have a little strength. These are people like us that the world ain't paying no attention to. He said, but the door is open. Go ahead and read.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet and to know that I have loved thee.
So he is talking to who? He's talking to us. He said, I know the blasphemy of those people that say they are Jews. Yeah. In other words, that say they are us and are not, but do lie. He said, I'm going to make them come and worship before your feet.
Yes.
And then they're going to know that I have loved you, not them. But look what else he said, though. Go ahead and read.
Because thou hast kept the words of my patience.
And this is us that dealing with this word and don't fool around with it, get it just like it is. Because you kept the word of my patience. Go ahead.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And I'm going to show you this is a period of time. Because he don't tempt nobody. This is the period that he's going to bring on the world. He said, I will keep you from the hour of temptation. Go ahead and read.
Which shall come upon all the world.
Which shall come upon all the world.
To try them that dwell upon the earth.
To try them that dwell upon the earth. You mean this temptation going to tempt everybody at one time? No. He's going to bring great tribulation. This is the hour of temptation. And I mean, he's going to find out who is his servant and who is not. All of these people running around saying they are somebody that they're not. And they're serving a God that they're not, he's going to find out when he brings this hour of temptations upon earth. Because the Lord going to lay the gauntlet down, sisters and brothers. In order for us to understand this and get more into it, we're going to have to get a little background so we'll understand where this period of time come from. And how that it made its way up to us. So let's go into Daniel, the 7th chapter. That's why I said, sisters and brother, this is kind of like an extension, or more parts to add to the lesson that we had last week. Because we do a lot of little inner workings of it. But last week with that lesson, that brought it all down to the end, sisters and brothers. But these are a few things that we're going to see and a few things that's going to operate because there's some stuff you're going to have to survive to get to the end. It ain't going to be like you're going to sit on the sideline and watch it go by. You're going to have some knowledge, you're going to have to move, and you're going to have to know what's going on, or you're going to get caught up in this thing too. But let's look at this background a little bit, see where this hour is coming from. Everything started somewhere. It started way back in Daniel's day, when Daniel started prophesying of it. Daniel 7:1. Okay, go ahead.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed.
Go ahead.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea.
Now he said, he had this vision, and Daniel saw this thing. He said, what? I saw the four winds of heaven stroll up on the sea. That's why I got the name for the book, The Four Winds of Heaven, because he talked about these four great nations that's going to rule the world all by themselves, and ain't nobody done it since or before. And these four nations are Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome. And they strolled up on the sea. In other words, they come up from among the people, because the people, the sea represent the people. Go ahead and read.
3. And 4 great beasts came from the sea, up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Go ahead.
The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings.
Uh-huh.
I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man.
Go ahead.
And a man's heart was given to it.
That's a Babylonian empire, sisters and brothers. And this is talking particularly about Nebuchadnezzar, where the Lord showed him that he didn't have no greatness when he drove him out and he ate grass like the ox for 7 years.
Yes.
And when he got through eating grass like an ox, he got up talking like Daniel. That means he put a man's heart in him. In other words, he ain't thinking like a beast now. Right. Go ahead and read.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear.
Uh-huh.
And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it.
Uh-huh.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
That's the Medo-Persian Empire. Like we showed last week, it was a Persian king, Cyrus, that let Judah, Levi, and Benjamin go back and build a temple in Jerusalem. Go ahead and read.
After this I behold, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
Go ahead.
The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
Greek Empire, 4 heads. We broke that down last week. Let you know that Alexander the Great died, and his 4 generals ended up with the kingdom. Go ahead and read.
After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast.
Go ahead.
Dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth.
Go ahead.
It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Now you notice this beast didn't have a name, because this is the Roman Empire. Roman Empire is so terrible until God didn't have a name for it. Finish that.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Go
and
ahead.
It had 10 horns.
And this had 10 horns. That means it's supposed to rise and fall 10 times. Why is it that the Roman Empire is worse than all the rest of them? Because it is still with us, sisters and brothers. Rome failed. But then Rome came back up again with a religious head. And that is where Rome is still ruling right now, through religion. That's why everybody go to church on Sunday.
Teach.
From Rome. That's why everybody's getting prepared for Christmas to come up. Rome. This is not just in the United States or in the United Kingdom. It's even in Russia, which is supposed to be an atheist nation. Rome still rules. It ruled physically, and now it's ruling you mentally through religion. Go ahead and read.
Verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
This is the religious horn, sisters and brothers. This is the one that's the head of the mother church. So he had eyes like a man. He had a mouth that's speaking great things. Yeah, because he coming talking like he is God. And you should listen to him rather than God. Skip down to verse 11 and go ahead.
I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain.
Go ahead.
And his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
And that's what's going to happen, sisters and brothers, because of the words that the horn spake, because it's contrary to the word of God. Go ahead and read.
As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
He took the horn out in his regime, but he allowed the rest of the nation to continue. Skip down to verse 16 and go ahead.
I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this.
See, Daniel's looking at all this stuff. You see these 4 great beasts and all these different kinds and little horn and all that. And Daniel went to the angels. He said, I want to know what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Explain this to me. Go ahead and read.
So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Look, the saints of the Most High, sisters and brothers, do not come along until after the first resurrection. Who are the saints of the Most High? The ones that are in the first resurrection. That let me know that this beast and this organization is going to rule until the Lord comes.
Yes, sir.
Ain't going to be no another nation come in power like America. You got the ones that's coming, it's what's on its way now, the European common market. The Lord going to terminate this Gentile dynasty. Ain't going to be no more after that. What verse are we?
We at 19.
Go ahead and read.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast.
He said, I want to know the truth of that fourth beast, the one so terrible that there ain't no name for, and the horn that come up out of it. I want to know the truth of the fourth beast. Go ahead and read.
Which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
He said, I want to know about that one. So he going to tell you about it, but he also wanted to know about that little horn that come up out of him. Skip down and read that at verse 21. Go ahead and read.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
He said, there's a little horn that come up and knocked 3 horns off. He said, I beheld that same horn made war with the saints, sisters and brothers. He made war with the saints and what?
And prevailed against them.
And he beat them. This is before the first resurrection, sisters and brothers. And I'm talking about these are real saints. These ain't people that's just faking. Like I said, they're playing for the kingdom. They are not playing church. These people know something, but they just didn't know enough to get to the place of safety. He said, look, this little horn that's going to come out of this fourth beast is going to make war with them. And he is going to prevail. Keep reading.
Until the Ancient of Days came.
Until the Lord come. Go ahead and read.
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom.
Go ahead.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth.
The fourth beast going to be the fourth kingdom on earth. Go ahead and read.
Which shall be diverse from all kingdoms. And shall devour the whole earth.
Go ahead.
And shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
That's the Roman Empire. Still going on. That's why the people don't understand. We showed you and read you in history last week that all the common market nations had to sign one treaty, and that was called the Treaties of Rome.
Yes, sir.
Because it's still the Roman Empire. And they are still bent on putting it back so it can go in this great glory where it can rule this world like it used to. Go ahead and read.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. And another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings.
That was in last week's lesson. We gave you the name of them kings. But this little horn is another king. He going to come up. Who do they call them? Papa. He going to subdue 3. We already showed you who they was, the Ostrogoth, Vandals, and the Hurlite. Right. Go ahead and read.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Yes, sir.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
And look, he said it again. He going to speak great words against the Most High. And I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be open season on you, saints.
Teach.
During this time. They're going to wear out the saints of the Most High. The Lord going to allow him to do that. If you're not in that place of safety, sisters and brothers, your faith is going to be sorely tried. Go ahead and read.
And think to change times and laws.
Go ahead.
And they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time.
He's already changed time and laws. You understand? Yeah. He changed the Lord's Sabbath from the 7th to the 1st.
Yes, sir.
He changed the time that the day going to start. At 12:01 instead of the evening and the morning when you can see a day change.
Yes, sir.
Change the dietary law.
Yes, sir.
Change the location where the kingdom is going to be. He's done this, sisters and brothers, but then the time going to come when he is going to wear out the saints. That's going to be a time that's called for time and dividing of time. That's 3.5 years, sisters and brothers. 3.5 years, this guy going to get to do whatever he wants to do, this whole regime. Because he's going to have a whole 10 armies plus under him. Go ahead and read.
But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion.
They're going to take away his dominion. Go ahead.
To consume and to destroy it until the end.
Go ahead.
And the kingdom and dominion.
And the kingdom and dominion.
And the greatness of the kingdom.
And the greatness of the kingdom.
Under the whole heaven.
Under the whole heaven.
Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Go ahead.
And all dominions shall serve and obey him.
So now where's this kingdom going to be if it's under the whole heaven? Earth, sisters and brothers. During this hour of temptation, the Lord going to let these people rule. And if you are a true servant of God and you are not in the wilderness, you're going to be in a heap of trouble. This is what the world don't understand. He's going to find out. They're going to find out. Now let's go into Revelation, the 13th chapter. Because we're going to see this thing. Because in the 7th chapter, we saw 4 kingdoms which had 7 leaders and 10 horns. But 3 of the 10 horns was plucked up. But now we're going to see a picture of this resurrected kingdom. We're looking at it right now. We showed it clearly yesterday, last week. But like I said, this is kind of an extension because some of the intricacies of it we want to bring out. Revelation 13, and let's start reading at verse 1. Revelation 13 and verse 1. Now this is what we just got through reading. And Daniel's the 7th, but the only difference is Daniel's brought it nation by nation. But here, John is seeing the future version of it. His future, not our future, because we're looking at it right now.
Yes, sir.
That's if you have the eyes to see. Like people tell me, well, brother, you must have special eyes. I said, I sure do. They read the Bible.
Yes, sir.
And I see what's written in it, so I know what's going down when it starts to go down.
Yeah.
The Lord done told you. All you got to do is look. 13 and 1. This is the resurrection of the Holy Roman Empire, or either Babylon the Great, but today it's called the European Economic Union. No matter what the name is, like the old saying is, a snake by any other name is still a snake. Verse 1, go ahead and read.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now these 7 heads, we read about them, and we just didn't pay no attention. If we had paid some attention, we would have saw the Babylonian head. Then we would have saw the Medo-Persian heads. Then we would have saw the Greek head. And then we would have saw the Roman head. All 7 of them there. Because the Greek had 4 heads, sisters and brothers. And 10 horns. This 10 horns, this is a new version. 10 of these horns, 3 of these horns don't get plucked up. These horns continue. So this is the new version. 10 horns. And the 7 heads. The 7 head is the organization that it come out of. Go ahead and read. What verse?
We're in the middle of 1.
Uh-huh.
And upon his heads, upon his horns, 10 crowns, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy.
Now, each one of these horns represented a head of state. All of them had a crown on. Everyone was a ruler. Whatever you want to call him. Premier, president, prime minister, czar, whatever. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and read.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
Now, didn't we see the leopard in the 7th chapter?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read.
And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Didn't we see the bear in the 7th chapter?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
We saw the lion with eagle's wing. We saw him, right? And that last head had 10 horns, didn't it?
Yes.
Go ahead and read.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
So all the players are here. This is a portion of all of them. This is the same old Roman Empire. It just come under different names and separated under different states. But what people don't understand is the Roman Empire started with Italy. And Italy come, and after they started to knock down states, they brought all of these states under the banner of the Roman Empire. Yes. Now these states going back to their prospective names and location. And everybody's been trying to put them back together.
Yeah.
Just like the Romans did. So here they are. Go ahead and read.
Verse 3. And I saw one of the heads as if it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
So what head was healed? The Roman head, sister and brother. Roman head was supposed to rise, fall and rise 10 times. So now it's healed. We are looking at the healing of it right now. The common market. The deadly wound was healed. Go ahead and read.
And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
You're going to ask the question, who is able to go against a mart of nations. 10 nations, and they're not all in Western Europe. They're just the 10 that's running Western Europe. Who is able to make war with us? That's what's going to be said later on. Well, you know, the United States is a superpower. Look, I'm going to tell you something. The United States figured so little in prophecy until the Lord really didn't even mention it.
Right.
We just getting pompous. Didn't mention them. Because we reading about the powers that be.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
5. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies.
This is the religious part that come out of this organization. A mouth speaking great things and blasphemy. Go ahead and read.
And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
That's still at 3.5 years, ain't it? Because the Lord is going to bring this thing down at 3.5 years. That is the hour of temptation. Go ahead and read.
And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name.
Go ahead.
And his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
Go ahead.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Said it again, didn't it? The Lord is warning you, sisters and brothers, that if you don't get to that place of safety,
yes, sir,
you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to really have your faith in order. He keep telling you, this guy going to make war with the saints.
Yes.
And what he going to do to them?
And to overcome them.
And he going to overcome them. That means he going to be winning. Go ahead and read.
And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
And you're going to be in trouble no matter where you are. The ones that in the main area is going to be rough on them, but wherever you are, you still going to have to succumb to this false religion. Greco-Roman Christianity.
Yes, sir.
Not Israel Christianity. My brother Boy, Israel ain't got no, look, I'm going to tell you, Israel are the original Christians. I know what Christianity is because Christ was an Israelite. All the apostles was Israelite. The apostle Paul to the Gentile was an Israelite. We put it forward. You mean we don't know nothing about it? That's why I said Greco-Roman Christianity, sisters and brothers. We know, but you're going to have to have some knowledge in it, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. Skip down to verse 11. Verse 11 and go ahead.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Now this is another beast coming out the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Go ahead and read.
And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed.
Now this not another nation coming up, sisters and brothers. This is the leaders of this organization. Religious and temporal leader, whether he's political or whether he is a military. This is the leaders. And these are the ones, sisters and brothers, that we have to really, really pay attention to. Go ahead and read what verse?
We're at 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Now we know the false prophet. See, remember, this is one organization that had 2 great leaders. And the false prophet is the one that make fire come down in heaven. How do I know? Because it tells you that in Revelation the 19th chapter. Because he said, in the beast, these both was cast into the lake of fire. The beast and the false prophet that worked miracles before him. Right. So this is Papa. He's going to wave his hand and fire going to come down and you're going to say, yeah, this is Christ, all right. But if you got some knowledge, you're going to say, I've been waiting on this. That's the false prophet, all right. That is the difference of knowledge and ignorance, sisters and brothers. I always say it, and I mean it, ignorance is costly. Yes. It could even cost you your life. Knowledge itself is healing. That's why it's called balm. When the Lord says there's no balm in Gilead.
Yes.
Knowledge, the word, let you know what to do in time of desperation. Go ahead and read.
14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Go ahead.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Go ahead. Now, see, they want to make an image to it. It's probably going to be of a stone or something, image. You understand? Not a computer. Computer ain't going to move. And nowadays, with people intelligent, everybody know about computers. Computers is taking over everything. Yeah. He going to do something you ain't looking for. He going to have some kind of statue or image made like Nebuchadnezzar, but the difference with him and Nebuchadnezzar, this guy's going to make him walk and talk. And you ain't going to know what to do about it if you don't have no understanding. Go ahead and read.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and call that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
See, look, sisters and brothers, you're going to get people that's going to be riding the fence. Well, I don't know, this might be Christ and it might not. Then he's going to go through something in that statue that they're going to build. They're going to start walking and talking, and the whole world is going to be focused on it. Yep. And then all of a sudden, the people say, hey, I like almost went with you, but I see now that this guy in the temple over there is Christ. Therefore, you got to die. If they don't kill you, they're going to pick up the phone and bring somebody there that will kill you. And the ones that are halfway on the fence, he's going to cause them to receive a mark, which is called a mark of the beast. Go ahead and read.
16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So you're on the fence. You fighting. But when you see that, it's got to be Jesus. Then you're going to go on in there. Give me my stamp. Just like they do every Ash Wednesday. People don't understand that they use every Ash Wednesday to prepare you to receive the mark. They don't know that's what's going on. That's because they are uninformed, sisters and brothers. You do that to rats. You open up a trap door and got some cheese on us. So he go through and eat. When he get through, he go back. And you keep doing it. So eventually, when you get ready for the slaughter, you put a trap over there. You open up the door, he run through there looking for the cheese, and he run into the trap. Right. Now, when you figure out what's going on, it is too late. And that's what's going to happen. And the people ain't going to figure that out. It's too late until the Lord come when them bust through them clouds, sisters and brothers. That's why be prepared to investigate. Why are you putting this in my forehead and in my right hand? Tell me why you doing this. Nobody ever asked. They just go up there and they do it. Yep. Go ahead and read.
And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Now they're going to have it all rigged. Everybody, all them believers, going to be running business, everything. You got a pocket full of money. You can't buy a hamburger unless you got, let me see your mark. You ain't got no mark? Your money don't work here. Move on. It's going to be rough. I'm going to tell you something, it's going to be rough. That's why it's called a time of trouble like there's never been. Right. And the Lord said that there shall never be another time like it. Go ahead.
Here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast.
Go ahead.
For it is the number of a man. And his number is 666.
For courage, Billy died. Replacement of the Son of God. Vicar of Christ. On his crown. He said, when you see the one, what them numbers are, that's the one. Stay away from it. Stay away from it because he is the one that's going to bring this hour of temptation. Now let's go into Revelation 17 chapter because we're going to see where it came from. Because remember, that little horn plucked up 3 horns, didn't it? And what happened? The 7 horns went along with the little horn. 17 and 1. The same one here. Because the angel is finna to explain to John what he just saw in the 13th chapter.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and read.
And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come here.
Go ahead.
I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
See, John, in 13 it emphasized on the beast, but now it's emphasized upon the religious part of it. The great whore. Why is it great whore? Because this is a religion that says come from God and it didn't. It's a prostitute religion, sister and brother. I just hate to say it, but that's the truth. And we all call it Christianity. But this is not the Israelite Christianity. This is not Christ's Christianity. This is the sun worshipers' version of Christianity. Go ahead and read.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
All the kings of the earth have committed fornication. When Papa leave Rome and he go from town to town, they have him thrones. I mean, he come, every nation, they glad to have him.
Yes, sir.
You understand? And all the kings, when they go to Italy, they can't stop there. They have to go down and kiss the ring of Papa.
Yes.
And we all been made drunk of the wine of her fornication. What's that bad religion? Christmas, Easter, Satan barbecuing people. People in heaven smiling down on you. You're going to be raptured off to heaven. And the dead, you're going to go to heaven. Wait a minute, if the dead are already in heaven, then where are they going there? Go ahead.
Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. And I saw a woman sit up on a scarlet-colored beast.
Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Now, she was up on the beast. That means she's controlling this beast. This is what it is. She's controlling this. The religious part is going to control this. Go ahead and read.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Oh, it looks so convincing, sisters and brothers. And it's rich. Even that cup that you're going to drink out of, that they're going to give you. Golden cup. You understand? Full of bad doctrine. But what's her other name? Go ahead and read.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
Mystery, Babylon the Great.
The mother of harlots.
The mother of all these false religions. Go ahead and read.
And abominations of the earth.
An abomination of the earth. All you got to do is find out who the mother church is, and you just put your hand on it. And she admits herself, well, we the mother church.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. The Bible told me about you.
Yes, sir.
Skip down to verse 9. Verse 9, and go ahead.
And here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
Now, I tell you the geographical location. We showed you that in history books last week, didn't we? Go ahead in geography. Go ahead and read.
And there are 7 kings.
There are 7 kings.
5 are fallen.
5 are fallen.
And 1 is. And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Sisters and brothers, I have brothers, I wanted to put the graph up on there of these beasts we have in here. We're going to look at these 7 heads and 10 horns. I want you to put your graphics up there. Because, sisters and brothers, since somebody decided to interpret the word, I said I'm going to get real basic today. So I can make sure that nobody misunderstand what I am about to deal with. But we're going to put it together. It just takes a little time, sisters and brothers, because I want this thing to be understood, because too many people take the word of God for granted. And we're going to see this real clear. Now, read the next verse. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Now look. So there are 7 horns, isn't there? And I'm going to tell you about these 7. Let me see, I think I got a pointer in here. We don't know all the names of these horns, but we know the names of them, brother, because we named them last week. And it started with Justinian and came on down to Benito Mussolini, sisters and brothers. So these are the 7 horns. These are the 7 horns that's left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but it said, but look, read that next verse, the one that you just read. Read it over again. Go ahead and read.
Verse 11.
Verse.
And the beast that was and is not.
This is it. The beast that was and is not. Go ahead and read.
Even he is the 8th.
He is the 8th.
And is of the 7, and goeth into perdition.
Now, what beast is he talking about? See, each one of these, this beast and each one of these horns represent the beast. But he is the 7th. He is the 8th. That's the one to rule this nation. But where did he come from? He come from among the 7. So they put this empire back together, sisters and brothers, this guy here is going to move because he's the last horn, and he's going to become the temporal leader. But still, Papa has been there ever since the fall of Romulus Augustulus. He's been there in every generation. And each one of these guys tried to fix it, they failed. He tried to fix it, they failed.
Yes.
You know, like, and come on down to Napoleon Bonaparte. He tried to fix it, it's failed. Mussolini, he tried to fix it, it's failed. This guy here, he gonna fix it. And when he fix it, he gonna be the 8th one that ruled this great dynasty. What are you talking about, Brother Bush? Look at these heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rule. When he take over, he's gonna be the 8th. Don't y'all understand what I'm saying here? Not the church. Because the church has always been there.
Yes.
So that's why I said this beast had 2 horns like a lamb. These guys are going to stand against God. Now read the next verse. Okay, go ahead.
We have verse 12.
Verse 12, go ahead.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
Now, once he get this beast together with the 7 heads and 10 horns, these 10 horns, we're looking at it right now. That's in Western Europe. Yeah, the United Kingdom is falling out, but somebody's going to replace them real soon. So these going to stand against Jesus, sisters and brothers. And they are the ones that's going to fight. They're going to be around when the Lord comes. That let us know that the days, like I said, in Daniel, the 2nd chapter, in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom. We're going to see this. We ain't talking about the generations to come. This is in our time. I know it because the Lord had his prophets to tell us. And he said, surely he would do nothing but reveal his secrets to his prophets. We know what's going on. We're going to see this, sisters and brothers. But look, when this guy get in power, there's going to be a time that's called the Great Tribulation. But before the Great Tribulation come upon earth, the Lord is going to deliver his saints to the wilderness, sisters and brothers, those that know about him. He gave us a sign. But before and when this sign comes, when this guy's supposed to rule, the Lord said, when you see this sign, it's time for you to flee. Let's read into this line. Let's go into Matthew, the 24th chapter. Matthew chapter 24. Because the Lord has laid all of this out, sisters and brothers, and he wants us to understand what this is all about. He put it there. You're not supposed to get caught up in the Great Tribulation. You're not supposed to get caught in the hour of temptation. Because he told you, I know your works. You have a little strength. I know them that say they are you. He said, but also, I'm going to deliver you from the hour of temptation. How is they going to deliver you? Through his knowledge, sisters and brothers. Now, this is when the apostles were showing Jesus the temple. 24:1. Matthew 24:1. Okay, go ahead.
And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple.
Go ahead.
And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Now, he tell you, look, however pretty this temple is, the day is going to come when it's going to be destroyed to the ground. Go ahead and read.
And as he sat up on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
When is the temple going to be torn down? Go ahead and read.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
What is the sign of your coming?
And of the end of the world.
And of the end of the world. They asked specific questions, didn't they? And the Lord going to answer them. But he gave them a warning first. Go ahead and read.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you. Now, this is the part where the world have overlooked. What is it? Go ahead and read.
For many shall come in my name.
For many shall come in the name of Allah.
Saying, I am Christ.
For many shall come in the name of Buddha.
In the name of Christ.
Shall many come in the name of Hare Krishna. Didn't say that, didn't it?
No, sir.
For many shall come in my name. Go ahead and read.
Saying, I am Christ.
Saying, I'm Christ.
And shall deceive many.
Where do you find those guys at?
In the church.
You're going to find a whole slew of them tomorrow. In the pulpit. Behind rostrum like this. He warned you about all of this. He warned you about these Greco-Roman Christians that's going to come in the last. He warned you about them. They're going to come in my name. They're going to deny the name. Oh, man, they're going to Christ you to death. But once you get through listen to them confess at his name, listen to their conversation.
Yes.
Skip down to verse 15. Because they asked him for a sign. Verse 15, go ahead.
When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso read, let him understand.
Now, if you're a New Testament Christian, you don't know who this is. Because he says spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
Yes, sir.
You're a New Testament Christian. You ain't never read Daniel. Because somebody done told you that it's been fulfilled. We're reading Daniel's right now, ain't we?
Yes, sir.
Daniel spoke about all of this. So when you, and then, where is the holy place? Don't nobody know. Who is the abomination? Don't nobody know because ain't nobody taught it, but we know.
Yes.
So when you see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso read it, let him understand. I mean, you better understand this, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Now, if you're in Judea, if you're over there, you better go into the mountains, sister. You get up out of there. But if you're anywhere in the world, you better flee. But you got to know where to flee. Because the Lord ain't promising nobody protection but in one place. This mountain must be in the wilderness too. Skip down to verse 21. Why should you flee? Verse 21, go ahead.
For then shall be great tribulation.
For then shall be great tribulation.
Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
That's how to be a bad time, ain't it? Tribulation so bad, you ain't never had a time this bad since there been a world. And he said it shall never be again. This is a bad time, man.
Yes.
Because we done seen some ugly stuff go down on this earth. Ethnic cleansing and everything else. Go ahead and read.
And except those days should be shortened.
Go ahead.
There should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
He said, look, except the Lord intervene and shorten these days, ain't no flesh going to be saved. At this time when Jesus made this prophecy, there was not a weapon on the earth that could destroy all flesh. But now everybody got it. Now they all up in the air because Korea said, yeah, I got it too. I'm going to do something with it. Everybody's in a tither because these nuclear weapons can destroy all flesh, sisters and brothers. But we don't worry about it, those of us that have some understanding, because we know the Lord is not going to allow it.
Right.
That's why I don't get all shook up with this little guy in North Korea rattling his nuclear. See, they don't rattle sabers no more. They rattle nuclear weapons. Yeah. I ain't shook up because I know how the end is going to be. The Lord didn't let us know what the end's going to be.
Yes, sir.
But before this great tribulation starts, sisters and brothers, the Lord said, when you see this, he said, flee, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Now, this is us that the Lord is talking about. One of us, not only Israel physically, but also spiritually Israel, that's got some knowledge. Because we all going to go to the same place. Now, let's go and look at it. Let's go into Revelation, the 12th chapter. Revelation chapter 12. That's why if you're a stranger, if you do what Israel say and serve the God of Israel, then that makes you spiritual Israel and you're part of Abraham's seed and the heir to the promise. It's all that simple. Paul tell you that in Galatians, the 3rd chapter. So now, just prior to the great tribulation, let's see what's going to happen. We're going to Revelation 12 and 1. 12 and 1. Okay, go ahead.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet.
Go ahead.
And upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
Now, Genesis, the 37th chapter, tell you this is the nation of Israel. But this nation, this still Israel, but this is spiritual Israel, physical Israel mostly, but then spiritual Israel too. Because even physical Israel got to become spiritual Israel. In other words, you got to walk in God's law. Because Israel is God's name. And say if you're a child of Israel, then you're a child of God. I'm talking about spiritually as well as physical. So this woman represents everybody that do this thing right. Primarily Israel. Because right now, everybody in the world ain't ready to do it right. You ain't going to get a whole bunch of strangers running to the wilderness because they don't know about the wilderness. You understand? But those of us and the strangers that are among us, we know about it.
Yes, sir.
So let's see what happened with this woman. Go ahead and read.
Verse 2. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered.
Go ahead.
And there appeared another one day in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head.
Wait a minute. That's not Satan. That looks like the European Economic Community, don't it? Having 7 heads and 10 horns, ain't that what we read? Why is it that you saw a great red dragon stood before the woman that was trying to deliver? She was laboring to deliver. Why is it that Satan looked like the nation? Because we read it. He gave them his seat, his power,
yes,
and great authority.
Yes, sir.
Then it said all the world going to worship the beast, and all the world going to worship the dragon that gave power to the beast. Because this is his organization.
Yes, sir.
So he stood before the woman to do what? Go ahead and read.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So this dragon brought with him a third of the angels. So he stood to devour her child as soon as it was born. And what nation, which one of his nations that he controlled was doing that? The Roman head, sisters and brothers. Because Jesus come during the Roman Empire. Go ahead and read.
And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron.
Now we know who this is, don't we?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne.
And she brought forth a man-child. You notice it didn't say who was to rapture all his servants off the earth.
Who was to rule all nations.
Who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And when he comes, sister and brother, he ain't going to be playing. Because he said, thy will be done.
Yes.
In earth as it is in heaven. He going to bust heads and they going to take names. You're heading the wrong place, he going to have one of them angels crackers. It's all that simple. But then he went on back to the throne. But what happened to this woman that he came out of, which is Israel? This is what people don't understand. Israel is the one that mothered Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Because his mother was an Israelite. Go ahead and read.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she have a place prepared of God, that she should feed her there 1,260 days.
So now, when this guy came into power, he tried to kill this woman even during the Roman days. Tried to cut off Jesus. Now, during this time prior to the 3.5 years, he is going to persecute the saints. Haven't we read all over about he going to make war with the saints prevail?
Yes, yeah.
And the Lord's going to give them into his hand? But these are the saints that have some knowledge. These are people like us that know what's going on. We know the sign. We are going to flee into the wilderness. Skip down to verse 14 and go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent.
Look, sisters and brothers, great wings of an eagle represent God's power, because he told you he brought Israel out on eagle's wings. That means he brought you out, and you're going to be there for time, and a dividing of time. That's 3.5 years, sisters and brothers. That's what it's talking about. What verse?
We have 15 now.
Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
I'm pretty sure that's an army he tried to catch you, but the Lord's going to deal with it. But whatever it is, the Lord's going to save his people that's got some knowledge. We're going to be getting out of the way, and he ain't going to let nothing get in our way. We know where we're going. He's going to provide the trip, and he's going to let us know without a doubt the location. So no matter what Satan do, He ain't going to be able to stop this. Go ahead and read.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
He was upset with the woman.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
And he couldn't get the woman. So what did he do? He turned around and assaulted her seed. Sisters and brothers, that's why the Bible keeps saying that he's going to make war with the saints. And he is going to prevail. Who is this woman's seed? Go ahead and read.
Which keep the commandments of God.
These people going to know now that they have to keep the commandments of God. Go ahead.
And have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
And they're going to have the testimony of the real Jesus that's going to sit on David's throne. Going to be contrary to the world. They're going to know the things we know. It's somewhere along the line they apparently just didn't make the connection that they had to go to the wilderness. I've heard some people that got some knowledge. Well, I don't think the Lord can protect me anywhere. Of course he can. Yeah. But he told you where he's going to protect you.
Yes, sir.
That's what you got to pay attention to.
Yes, sir.
And once you get there in the wilderness, ain't nothing going to happen to you. Let's go into Psalms chapter 91, the 91st chapter of Psalms. Once you get there, the Lord ain't going to let nothing happen to you. He said that's a place of safety. That's why he told the people, if you're in Judea, you flee to the mountain. That's in the wilderness too. Everybody's going to be in the same place. Wherever you find yourself on this planet. When you see Papa, when you see him build a temple in Jerusalem and Papa leave Rome and move into it, flee. Start looking around. Transportation is going to be there. You ain't going to need no money and you ain't going to need no passport. All you're going to need is knowledge and be clean in the eyes of God. I'm talking about keeping his laws and his testimony. That's all you're going to need. And he's going to deal with you. Psalm 91, let you know that once you get here, ain't nothing going to happen to you. Because this is right now the secret place to the whole world.
Yes, sir.
Don't nobody know about it. Go ahead and read.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
So when you get there, you're going to be under the shadow of the Almighty. Ain't nothing going to happen to you. Skip down to verse 4 and go ahead.
He shall cover thee with his feathers.
Yes, sir.
And under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
So what's going to get you here? His truth.
Yes, sir.
That's your shield and buckler. You looking at his truth. You're looking at his word and you believe him.
Yes,
and
sir.
when you see the abomination of desolation standing in the holy place, his word says, flee. And he's going to show you where to flee.
Yes, sir.
That's what's going to be your shield and buckler, his truth. But if you ain't got no truth, you're butt naked. And you're going to suffer the things that a naked person suffer in Alaska. Go ahead and read.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day.
You're going to be in there. You ain't going to be afraid of nothing. You're afraid of the terror by night or the arrow that flies in the day. Well, it's going to be bullets and mortars. Go ahead and read.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
Because a whole lot of sickness going to come up when you have war. That's a pestilence, diseases and everything else. You ain't going to be afraid of that. Go ahead.
Nor for the destruction that wasted at noonday.
Go ahead.
1,000 shall fall at thy side.
1,000 shall fall at your side.
And 10,000 at thy right hand.
And 10,000 at thy right hand.
But it shall not come near thee.
It ain't going to come near you. You're just going to be looking at it. Go ahead and read.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
The Lord going to let us see this, sisters and brothers. We're going to be able to see what's going on. All of these people that you tried to bring this gospel to that would not listen, they're going to be under the gun, and you're going to be laying back in the wilderness looking. You're going to pick you some fruit off the tree. Okay. Because it's your time now. Yes, go ahead and read.
Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
Because you made him your habitation. Go ahead.
There shall no evil befall thee.
Absolutely none. Go ahead.
Neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways.
Why is no plague or no trouble going to come to you? Because he's going to give his angels charge over you.
Yes, sir.
And ain't nothing going to be able to get close to you, sisters and brothers. And he going to do like it did in the old days. He going to keep thee in the ways. Angel going to be there. And sisters and brothers, this angel going to protect you as he did in the days of old. That's good. Let's look at this. Let's go and look at what the Lord did in the old days when he got ready to when he took his people to the wilderness. Let's go into Exodus, the 23rd chapter.
Yes, sir.
This is what I like about this God. He always has somebody say, look into the future, into the past, and you'll see the future. All you got to do is look into the past. I haven't done anything secret. I laid it all on the table. If you want to know, you can see it. Exodus, the 23rd chapter. Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23. And we're going to start reading at verse 20. This is what the Lord told Israel when he pulled them up out of Egypt. Verse 20. Read it.
Behold, I sent an angel before thee to keep thee in the way.
Ain't this what the angel going to do to us in the wilderness?
Yes, sir.
He's going to keep you in the way. Go ahead and read.
And to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
See, that's why I ain't worried about what the place is. Some people dispute about it. They might be right and they might be wrong. I think I know exactly where it's going to be, but if it might be somewhere else, I ain't worried about it because this angel is going to show me where to go.
That's right.
I ain't going to be wandering around somewhere on the African continent or in the Middle East. I'm wondering where it's at. This angel is going to give me the precise location and take me directly there.
That is right.
Go ahead.
Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not.
Go ahead.
For he would not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him.
He said, I want you to beware of this angel. That's what he told Israel. He said, I'm going to take you to the place where I have prepared for you. Ain't this what he said?
Yes, sir.
But then ain't this what a woman went to, a place prepared for her?
Yes, sir.
But he said, you got to beware of it. Obey his voice. Believe him. Do what he said. Because he ain't going to forgive your transgression. Now you decide to do a little sin, and on your way to the wilderness, you might find yourself dead. You might find yourself in Italy somewhere. What happened? You hacked the angel off. He diverted your route. Go ahead and read. 21 again. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgression, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversary. He said, but if you obey him and do all that I told him to do, because the Lord, the word is God. Yeah. Then I'm going to be an enemy to your enemy and an adversary to your adversary. See, this fight here don't belong to you. All you need is knowledge.
That's right.
Knowledge, sisters and brothers. And when the Lord's angel protect you, can't nobody do nothing to you.